My grandma lived with my family and I for a little bit, and she was very well taken care of. I was her kind of one-on-one for a while. One day I had stepped out of the room for a little bit, and when I came back, she had slipped off of her recliner chair. The kind of seat part had been up. She slipped onto the ground. She was yelling and yelling and yelling out, and she was panicked. I mean, in her mind, she had dementia, and so mentally she wasn't functioning at the level she meant to be. What left that is freak out panic. I don't know how I'm ever going to get up. She was terrified.
Maybe you felt that way in your life. Maybe not slipping out of a chair, but maybe just the situation you find yourself in. You're in a hole, you don't see any way out, and just that panic starts to set in.
You might have slipped out of what's comfortable to you.
That's right, and that's why we want to bring you the Morning Focus, where we focus in on who the Bible says God is and who God says you are. This morning, Psalms 145:14 reminds us, "The Lord upholds all who fall, and he lifts up all who are bowed down."
When I walked up to her after I had taken a second to take assessment of the situation, I realized she was okay. She hadn't been hurt. She hadn't fallen. She was terrified, but she was going to be all right. And so I came up to her and started lifting her up. And that process in of itself was very scary, going from being on the ground to slowly being lifted up. And she was nervous. She was screaming the whole way. And I think sometimes we're like that with God. We freak out, and then finally we call out to him. And when he comes to lift us up, because as this verse promises, he always lifts us up. Man, we can freak out along the way. And in the same way that I would have never left my grandma halfway through that process, you're too much, you're freaking out too much, I'm not going to help you. God is not going to do that for you.
No, that's right. God promises to be there for you. So I don't know where you find yourself today, what hole you might feel that you're in that you can't get out of. There's a great promise in Psalm 145:14, and all you have to do is call out to God, and he promises that God will lift you up.